Back it up. Settler's arrow. Adair. We've been here, we've been here. We've Temple of Etas. We wasn't no, you need to go down. What is it? Temple of Etas. Please help me. Here. A man lies resting against the wall, lit by the dim illumination of the fading sconce. He has gaunt fox-like aspect and his face is pale, damp with sweat. One arm is held loosely against his side, sleeve soaked with blood. He gives you an anxious glance as you near, his features twisted with pain. Have a care if you mean to go in. He cast a quick look towards the doorway to his left. This place is not so empty as I thought. This temple isn't what it used to be, probably for the best. Times being as they are, he groans and shifts positions, switching. I'm no looter, if that's what you're thinking. Not one of the faithful either, just wanted to do some good, I suppose. Got my arm clawed up for it. He regards you warily. Maybe you would have better luck. Better luck with what? The man points a finger upward. These ruins around us used to be Temple of Ethas. The scattered god, a grand temple as that. Its worshippers would come from all over the Drayward, from Reader's Caven. Until the war, of course, even though you would get some of the stubborn ones. The ones that couldn't get it through their heads that their god was dead and gone. Go on. Go on. Once the legacy started, Lord Radric decided he would be too lenient on the Ephesians. He had his people go in and put them to the sword, left them down here buried under a heap of rock. After that, Radric ordered the temple sealed. It's been years like that, up until recently. Radric hopes that if we eradicate the Temple of Living God, then we will be forgiven, and the legacy will end, see? He smiles really. But until then, the temple as you see it, unguarded, that's where you come in. Writing licks his lips. Those priests, maybe they didn't have the lick of sense between them, but they still didn't deserve to go like that. Chopped down in their God's house. It doesn't sit right with me. If you can get down there, find their remains, maybe we can finally give them a proper burial. Burton breathes out. No small task. There's coin in it for you if you need motivation. Other caution presents wisdom. A pleasant surprise to see that someone around here has a shred of respect for the dead. I take it you aren't supposed to be in here. Well, you have nothing better to do. I'll find them. Then by the flame, I owe you a good turn. But listen, the temple's been sealed off for so long it's crawling with creatures, but if you get past them, the priests would have been down on the lower floor. They'll be there still if they're anywhere. Those priests had all kinds of secret chambers, switches in the walls, thick as scones. It's kind of thing, keep an eye out, and take care down there. I wouldn't want to have to send someone else after your remains. I'll wait here by the stairs and keep a lookout. Maybe try to patch myself up somehow. Floors, so is it dungeon? At least we can try what this guy can do. Overwhelm anyone in the area of effect with brilliant display their will and leaving them dazed. This is flame. Call as freezes, there's freezer, there's a meteor strike. What about this one? So only support magic energy. No, let's just use.
What is it?
Why did you run close? Oh ho ho. I think we didn't start with mage. I don't think we would be able to get at the beginning so far.
I'll take care of it.
Nothing from spiders. Well,
Yeah.
How may I help?
you little spider webs.
will be on seek.
Oh, that doesn't look good. Damage to me if I use it? No. Come on, this is bad. This is very, very close.
Yes. As you wish. Keeping an eye out.
Okay, this looks like dungeon. And we are not in the best shape. What's written here? Whoever has sit in a hurry, ink has dripped across the scroll, obscuring its content. Let's see what was. Yeah, I have this. I know. Mm. Why not? There are no bonuses on that helmet. No, there's no nothing. Let's see what's this one. Letter home. I ask Brother Eric to carry this letter to you for the travellers to New Homer come morning. With him goes what coin I have, and I hope it will ease the surprise of unexpected homecoming. For I meant to follow in a few days' time. Our village is much changed, and for I do not wish for you to worry. I do not feel it's safe to remain. I know Rectrix Obrica will not approve, but the letter trace of here. Dungeon doesn't seems we can do right now anything. Too dangerous. And that's the village. So go sleep. We don't need to use camp. You back? Are you alive? Hello there. I would like a room. So it is going to one perception mechanic, one resolve. Maybe it's just bonus. Wow, that's what I can see when I sleep. I was really affected by Dubjavik. Your sleep is restless and fear assaulted by hiss and whispers, blanket with suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in front of Guildwell's willow tree. The cracking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman whose face has shivered inward like mouldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she is a mere inches from your face. That's creepy. Suddenly her head snaps up and her eyes open, and they are empty, and behind them is vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air she speaks a word. Watch her. You jolt awake, the full smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating in your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman, you remember seeing her, the sighing face when you spoke with the magistrate. He called her an animancer. Thought it fills you with new apprehension. You feel a strange compulsion to see this woman once more, if only to confirm she is truly dead. I think I would most likely soil myself with a dream like that. Maybe not, who knows. I like scary dreams. A flat floor. Oh, it costs more. The solar and athletics. Oh, stealth. We cannot use more. Fighter ability. Nice. fighter devotes all his or her energy to defending allies. The fighter intensely focuses on his or her training, significantly the accuracy for short. Fighter arm goes and gaze to be covered hits, increasing the minimum damage. Defender. The fighter adopts more combat strategy concerning on defending incoming attack. The fighter receives a bonus to deflection and increases his or her numbers of engagement targets to 3, but at the expense of attack rate. Use attack speed to enemies engage deflection. Friendly aura. Let's go with friendly aura. Guardian stance. No new talents. Journal. Let's go after the bear. Oh, it's a day! What a lovely, oh, never mind. Oh, look at that! The squat distance body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin crooked broad sacks at the tuck of her nose. The blotted purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze sniffs. You perceive faint glow around her that casts no light on its surrounding, but there is tepid warmth on it to it, and you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it, not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. If there's a text, I'm going to read it because it's a quest or story related. You take deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective as you exile. You feel yourself spreading out toward the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded enough to reach her, tree is the jolt of your mind, a ringing electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness in space occupied only by you and the hanging woman, and when you open them again she is staring at you with eyes clouded in milky fog, her body still swaying in wind. You no longer feel from tree that stands planted in misty void. The woman gives a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you. Have you
come here for me, dear? Or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes?
Sense a humor while hanging on a tree? What a woman. I don't know how long this will, how long I will stay able to stay in this state. So let's go to the point. I think I survived a Biavik. Do you know why that would be?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing. Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me, no?
You said souls break apart over time.
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die, and pick up pieces of others when we are born again. But less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. No. A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think.
I need to understand something that's happened to me. She nods, a look of pity on her face as though consoling a child.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there? You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
What's a watcher? I think that's obvious. I want to know something about you.
Me? I'll bore you to tears, though.
What's an animancer?
A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been made. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are. But the best of us? The best? Inspirations, miracle workers. My parents were soul twins, miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other, turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid. It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
What happened to you? We know that. She laughs, rasping choke, escaping between rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Seeing your blank expression as she catches herself.
Oh, come now. Such a question. As though the answer were plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer. Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found?
Nothing.
Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord. She is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
Who are you?
And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
We already know that.
Of course, dear.
And these questions are obvious, but let's go.
No, I think not. A pity that. It would be simpler. A mercy, even. To not have to wander anymore, no? Alas, we are here, you and I. Wherever here may be.
How are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
What's a watcher?
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, though. Not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair, and here we are visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on. Some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on. And those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either leaving or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how. A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them. Know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder!
What did you mean when all goes well?
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties.
He smiles at you reasonably, fanning out a tuft of long whiskers that sprouts from one of her cheek. Tuft.
You should see old Meerwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
Well, thank you very much, and farewell. Farewell forever.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Caldera closes her eyes, and her head slumps forward over the nose, and your surrounding seems to blend into your vision from some unknown place of waiting. Odo looks at you through narrow eyes. Are you alright? You seemed lost just now. I'm a watcher. His Archibald goes into his hood. Well, that's interesting. He gives you a sly grin, and I expect that explains how you survived Biavik. And I expect that in any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we are traveling together, it's probably wise for us to share these things. We know everything about the Watchers, so... Do you know anything about the Watchers? Only that they are rare and that they seem to have unique insight into certain soul conditions, he quotes, as you just demonstrated. Let's continue on. Wow, so we finally...
17 and a half.
17 and a half, because there are 17 people and dwarf. That was racist. It was... Oh. We know what we are. We know where to go. Most likely that's where we're going to get our stronghold. But let's first get the bear and try to punish those murderers.